Welcome to New Care Physical Therapy. Today I want to talk about the sciatic nerve, and specifically I want to talk about sciatic nerve pain that does come from the back. All right, so if we do look at this diagram, you can see in this model that a nerve compression or discompression can cause some pinching on a nerve, and this would be the sciatic nerve issue that comes from the back and then that travels down the leg. So if you're feeling something like that, then this is the video for you. With this though, how do you know if it's from the back or if it's from the muscle? Well, specifically if it's from the back, we do want to look at the how you're arching your back. So if you think about it, some people stand like this and some people stand like that with their butt really tilted. And you might see a huge curve in the low back. And when you see that, you want to be thinking that they're leaning on the joints, and that could be causing that compression on the nerves and then giving them the back pain, but also sometimes the pain down the back of the leg. And so with this, we want to think about a simple exercise that can help with this, and that would be the pelvic tilt. With the pelvic tilt, what we're working on is actually just tilting the hips forward, and then that's just creating a little bit more space, a little bit more opening here, and thus your back is in a better position, a more neutral position. And so if we're looking on that on a real person, so let's say I'm standing here, so just so you see my back, I don't have too much of a curve, but I can create a big curve, especially when I'm tired. And so my low back can start to arch like this, and then my butt will seem to be protruding a little bit more, and then you'll have that tightness, that curve here, and I can already feel some tension in my low back with that. And so when I'm talking about pelvic tilt, I'm talking about bringing the hips forward, squeezing the glutes, having that more neutral position. So the easiest way to figure out how to do that, because that can be hard for some people, is to lay on your back. Okay, that's the first step. So lying on your back, you can sometimes tell when people are lying on the back when they're lying like this, arched. So you can see that my low back has a little bit of a space, a hand's worth of space. And then if I try to lift my butt up, it hurts a little bit. So it's best to tilt. So first you will get in this position, see if you have too much space here, and then if your spine is, and it helps to put the hand here because then you can see if your spine is arching. And so in order to know that you're tilting right is if you flatten your back, and sometimes I have to tell people to actually try to lift their butt up just a little bit. And in trying to lift the butt up just a little bit, you'll notice that your tailbone kind of comes up a little bit. So imagine you're a dog and you're trying to bring your tail behind, in between your legs. And doing that, you can create a flat and a pressure on this hand. And so then, in this position, my low back is flat against the table and I can feel the table. And now I know this can be difficult for some people, but the first step is to be sure that you know how to do this. And you can do this while breathing. Some people think that they're doing a pelvic tilt, if they hold their breath and they're pushing down, that's not the right way to do it. So what you want to be doing is tilting your back like that, tilting the pelvis and getting that pressure onto the table. So this is a nice neutral spine, okay? The other ways that you can do this is to use like a ball, or you might find that you're sitting on something and you might be arching your back too much. Same thing, you would just kind of tilt your pelvis down. It could mean that you're trying to thrust your hips forward a little bit, and then you might feel a little slouch, but this is actually more neutral. Instead of being here and thinking that your posture is good, you want to bring your hips down a little bit, have that neutral spine. And so one thing that I do tell people, and I do for myself, if I do feel pain here, then I will do the pelvic tilt, try to get that neutral spine, hold it for about half a minute, and then see if the pain kind of releases. All right, and this is similar to then finally when you're doing it in standing. So if you're standing for a long time, you're working in the restaurant business, you're working as a PT, standing and doing notes all day long, you might start to arch your back near the end of the day. And then you feel that back pain. Same thing, try to tilt it forward. How do you do that? Squeeze the glutes a little bit. Your knees might pop out just a little bit. So if I squeeze my glutes, you might see it in the knees coming outwards. And so you just squeeze the glutes, feel that neutral spine there, and then hopefully over half a minute to a minute, you might start to feel some relief. And so this is a more stronger position. So then eventually when you're exercising or picking stuff up, if you reach downward and you feel pain, try to get into this position first, and then hold that position and then come down and pick up something. That's what I call bracing. That's what I call having a good core muscle, core exercise, is being able to maintain this position. So really, I want you to focus on the pelvic tilt.